Hello, it's How to Blow again, and yet another video. And this video is not about food this time. I've just been out collecting chestnuts. Can you see them, camera person?
Yes.
Yeah, chestnuts. So we're going to do something. Next video, promise there'll be a recipe, a festive one involving chestnuts, I hope, or something festive anyway, for kind of October Halloween, or fall as some guys call it. Right, so spark plugs. Right, this is short and sweet, fast and furious as it were. You've got a load of spark plugs. Now, the reason I'm doing this today is because the motorbike had a problem with starting. Well, no, it would start, but it ran rough. So I was wondering what was wrong with it. Right, the 4-cylinder Yamaha. So I took the plugs out and found that tested them and found that one of them was defective, which is this one. But so I wanted to, so it kind of prompted me to do a video on this, so I can show you guys how to check your own plugs if you want to, using a multimeter. Right, what you're going to understand is only really simple to do this. Really simple. There's no trickery or complicated stuff involved. You know, it's a very simple device. What it happens is that high tension, high voltage current goes in here, this electrode here, and it comes out at this electrode here, and it sparks with earth, which is the chassis of this spark plug, which in turn is screwed into the block of the engine. So there's a circuit is created, right? High tension, high voltage spark. Now, if you haven't got a spark, it's not going to light the fuel and air mixture in the cylinder. So we need to make sure these things are working. Now, they do wear out. They don't suddenly give out. Well, they do. They can do. I mean, if you get a crack or something in it, or you know, they do suddenly. This bad one suddenly gave out. 1 minute it was working, 1 minute it's not. But generally, get I found in my experience, you get the engine's running rough, you know, it runs away, there's something wrong with it. So you take the spark plugs out, have a look, clean them out. It might work, it might not. But anyway, this is how to test them, right, with a multimeter. Now, what you've got to do with your multimeter is you've got to put it on the whole horseshoe mark there, look. See that horseshoe mark there? Camera person? Yeah. Now that's the ohms, so we're checking the ohms, with the resistance values. As far as I know, resistance doesn't have any polarity, so that doesn't matter whether you have the red or the black or the red. Right, we're going to go to this one that works here. Okay, so what we're going to do is two tests you can do. Of the two and a half. You have a look at it, make sure it's not broken. If this porcelain is broken, chuck it. It's no good, no more good. If it's all busted inside there, you know, cracked to that, chuck it. It's no more good. So, if that looks okay to you, there's nothing obviously wrong with it. The thing to do is now to check it. Now, I'm going to have to put these glasses on because I can't see. Now, this is a bit tricky because what you've got to do is you've got to get one of these things on here and one of those things on that electrode there. Not this top bit, not that bit that goes round. This tiny bit here. Okay, so not that bit, but there. So it's a bit tricky to do. So we'll have a go. Have a go anyway. So you put one on there. As I say, it doesn't matter which way around these things are. And then put the other one on there, and we should get a reading. Now, a reading should be, what we got? Nothing at the moment. Wait. What does it say? 16. No, that's wrong. Wait. 16.51. Now that's 1,000 ohms. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now this plug, it looks like it may or may not work. It's too high. It should be about between around about 5,000 ohms. You know, maybe 7.5 thousand ohms, but any more than 10. 10,000 ohms, you know, you're pushing your luck. It's not going to work. It may not work. Anyway, let's just do the test again, just to make sure. We'll do it again. As I say, it's tricky here, so you've got to make sure that this thing is cleaned up and You're not touching any of the other bits. You just need to touch the middle part of the terminal here. Make sure you haven't got your fingers on it, because that will affect the resistance as well. So I'll try again. No, 16.39 thousand. No, that's too much. So this plug is probably not going to work. Although I've got a tick against it, because I know it does work actually. I took it out because it was misfiring. That's probably why. Anyway, let's check this. So that's the first check you do. So that's too high, I think. 16 is, you know, you're looking at chucking this out. Let's have a look at another one. So what we've got to do now is make sure there's no circuit, no continuity between this inner electrode and the chassis of the plug. So we're going to do this to see if there is. Open line. So okay, there's no continuity there. If there's anything come up on there, anything at all, it means this spark plug is never ever going to fire. It's never going to get a spark out of it, because you've got a circuit between the high tension and the earth straight away, so it's never going to spark between there. Never in a month of Sundays. Right, let's go on to this one here. This is a brand new one, right? This NGK one here. That was a champion. This is an NGK. Right, let's do the same thing again. Let's put that on there, and then touch the electrode in the middle of it. Not the chassis, not the outside, the electrode. And we've got 5.46 thousand ohms. That is perfect. That is perfect. It's brand new, that one. So that's perfect. That'll start. Right, we're gonna. Well, you may not do. We're going to check the outside. Make sure there's no continuity between that end and the chassis of the plug. So we're going to do that. Open line. So that's good. That'll work. That'll spark for sure. Absolutely, positively sure. Let's go for this one. This is another champion out of my what you call it, chainsaw. So we're going to do this again. Again, electrode test only. 14.6. Yeah, 14 point. I think. Wait a minute. Let's do it again. It's difficult to do this. Yeah, 14.6. So, whoa, you know that's not looking so good really. Right, we'll check the continuity between the electrode and the chassis of the plug. There should be OL, open line. Nothing should be happening. Well, that's good. Right, so 3 down, 1 to go. Now this is the one that I took out of the Yamaha motorbike. Yep, just yesterday, and we're going to have a test that now. We're going to go for the same thing. We're going to go on the electrode test. Right, so we're going to go there. We're going to touch it there. Right, 4.39. That is pretty good. That's pretty perfect, isn't it? 4.39. So that's kind of like 5,000 ohms. But if you check the continuity between the electrode that runs down through in the middle of there and the chassis of the plug, this is what you get. Now I can't see properly exactly. 10.7 million ohms. So is this? There's something. So that's, see this. That was 0. That was 0. This was 0. But this registers a circuit. So that is never going to fire in a month of Sundays. That is for the bin. That's for the bin. This one is questionable. I put a tick there because I know it does work a little bit. This one is I put a tick there because it's working. This one is guaranteed to work, and this is brand new. So what I'm saying is, there's no harm in checking your plugs. If you want to check your plugs, you think you need a new. Well, the obvious thing is to bung a new one in, isn't it? But if you want to check it, to be more scientific about it, you can use your multimeter and go with you know, this basic thing. Obviously, you've got to make sure that the spark plug gap is correct. Now, this one here, for example, zoom in there, camera person. Right, that's for I think, I don't know whether that's preset or not. I can't remember. But sometimes they're preset at a specific distance, like 25 thou or 30 thou or something. But what you've got to do is important. It's important to check what the gap is, because if you've got a magneto driven ignition system, it generates less less voltage in the high tension. So if you have a massive gap, there may not be enough power in the high tension to actually jump the gap. So and it's important for you to check whether what the gap should be. You know, I sort of run with. It varies with every car, every vehicle. Sometimes you might be surprised how big the gap should be, and other times you realise you are amazed at how small the gap should be. But you know, the guys that make the engines and whatnot, they know what type of plug. Always use the recommended plug in there. The book says for the actual engine. It could be any engine, you know, lawnmower, motorcycle, tractor, whatever. You know, any petrol engine. Put the plugs in it that are supposed to go in it. Don't mess about with anything else, because the resistance between the inside here, for example, there is a resistor, and what it does, it cuts out radio interference from the high tension circuit, so you don't get this like crackling radio, crackling TV, whatnot. Like I used to get as a boy. I remember this happening. You used to go car up the road, and you would get the TV screen or radio crackling. But so it's got a resistor in there. But my point is when the plug gets older, the resistance goes up. And it's okay, you know, these two here, they're about 14, 16. You know, but they're really, there's too much. You know, it should be about less than 10. Any more than 10, you're pushing your luck, in my opinion, anyway. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy. I'll probably rattle on too long again for this thing here, but I always think about something else I can say, so I'll cut there. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope there's something. I mean, there's other videos on YouTube about it, but maybe that you've seen something in this one that you hadn't realised before. How easy it is to check your spark plugs. Maybe you've got some in the garage like knocking about, you wondered if they're any good or not. Well, just apply the same rules, you know. Anyway, I got some, let me see, cooking next time recipe, definitely. I've got cooking up here, I've got quick tips here, I've got more DIYs down here, and if you want to subscribe to me, it's down there. So, until next time.